Orange County Sheriff's Office.
We need SO to respond for a dead person at SeaWorld. A whale has eaten one of the trainers.
Tillicum is the one that went after her.
Dawn is the senior trainer here at Shamu Stadium.
She captured what it means to be a SeaWorld trainer, that it made me realize what happened to her really could have happened to anyone.
On February 24, 2010, a tragic event would take place on a Dine with Shamu event with Tillicum, SeaWorld's largest and longest living whale in captivity until his death on January 6, 2017 in SeaWorld, Orlando, Florida. Many people would witness the brutal attack on SeaWorld's most talented trainers and whale performers named Dawn Branshaw for almost 45 minutes. On the clip you just saw was an advertisement for the documentary called Blackfish that was released in the U.S. on November 12, 2013 and was produced by Gabriella Copperwright. This film was produced in the hopes of not only trying to shed light on the dangers that trainers had to face while performing with these animals, but also the extreme issues and harm that was brought to these animals during captivity, specifically the killer whales. In the Animal Welfare Foundation, they state that there's 2,360 cetaceans that are still in captivity. Cetaceans is basically a fancy way of saying marine mammal. So whales, belugas, dolphins, things of that nature. Now, after seeing a film like this, I personally was very sickened, and many other people were sickened by watching this film because who wants the harm of animals to happen? My perception of SeaWorld has changed drastically because of that. Growing up, I loved animals. I was all about animals. I would watch Animal Planet every day. I wanted to be Steve Irwin. So after seeing this event unfolding on the documentary, I was very taken aback. But honestly, the more I've thought about it, the more I realized that there are more issues at hand just besides the ones stated in the documentary. Now, most of you might be thinking, okay, this speech is going to be about why SeaWorld is bad. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go on an unexpected route. Today, I'm going to try to convince you as to why you should keep going to SeaWorld. You heard me. Why you should keep going to SeaWorld. I'm going to not only explain the issues that happens when people don't go to SeaWorld and the cause and effect that it has on the animals, but I will also try to explain some of the solutions that we can have in order to help these animals further. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the issues that occur when people don't go to SeaWorld. Now, many people would think that the simple solution would be, let's get rid of all the animals. Let's put them back into the ocean. Done, period. But that's not the case. Many of the animals can't go back into the wild because they've been in captivity their whole life and for a very prolonged period of time. They would not only not know how to survive in the wild, but they wouldn't know how to fend for themselves. And there would be a lot of outside factors that they wouldn't have to have encountered while they were in an enclosed space. In the LA Times articles called "Why SeaWorld Will Most Likely Not Release Its Animals into the Wild" by Samantha Masunaga, she says that she talks about Chris Dole, who's the head veterinarian at SeaWorld, which he states that by releasing these animals into the wild, there are many weather conditions that they will not be able to handle, and a lot of varying factors such as toxins and diseases that they were not used to or exposed to while in their enclosed enclosures. So while putting them out in the wild, they will very much die. Like in a short time, they will die. So that's why they can't go back into the wild. Now, with this issue being brought up, another issue arises. So if the animals can't go back in the wild, where can they go? They have to stay on land. Now, ever since the movie Blackfish has been produced, it's said that its attendance at SeaWorld has dropped from 100 to 84% and has kept on dropping since then. And that was all the way in 2013. It's been 7 years. And it just keeps on growing, which is stated in Damilola's thesis talking about the amical hardships that SeaWorld has had to face since the documentary has been released. There is a lot of, negative connotations surrounding the documentary and SeaWorld, but we have to realize that these animals need us. It takes a lot of time and money for these animals to be kept and taken care of. In the documentary called "Which Is Better: Sea Pens or Enclosed Concrete Walls with Glass Enclosures for Whales," by Hugo Martin, he describes that for each whale, it will talk about costing $5 million just to have the proper enclosure that they need in the space that they need, and it will cost up to $500,000 yearly at the lowest rate for them to be taken care of. That's a lot of money. So where's this money going to come from? And that's the biggest issue. And another issue is the food and medicine that these animals need. A female orca can weigh anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 pounds, and a male orca can weigh up to anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 pounds. And in order to feed these mass animals, it's going to take a lot of resources and money. In the SeaWorld page, they talk about how the demographics of a whale and how much they eat. And an adult whale can eat up from 1% to 3.5% of their body mass. And a baby growing calf can eat up to 10% of their body mass. That's the equivalent of 51 pounds to 325 pounds of fish and squid every day. Not a month, not in a week, not in a year, every day. And that's not even just talking about the animals that are besides the orcas. The other animals need to eat too, and they eat a lot as well. So with that being said, they need you guys to attend and the resources. So now that I described the issues that happen when people don't attend SeaWorld, let's talk about some of the solutions. So like you probably guessed it, the biggest solution: come, bring your friends, bring your family. Use it as a learning tool as to why these animals are magnificent creatures and why they need our help. Without you guys coming, they're not going to get the funds that they need in order to survive. Like I said, they need money for housing, money for veterinarians to be around the clock, medical care, food, everything. They need you guys to attend. Now, I know with the negative connotation around SeaWorld, people don't want to go, but luckily with the many organizations like PETA and OSHA, they have, come together to make sure that these animals are no longer hurting, that these animals are no longer exploited for anything. And I honestly can personally say, in my personal account, the last time I went to SeaWorld, which was last February, since I was a little girl, I've been going to SeaWorld. So I've seen in-person, performers like Don Bradshaw in California. But I can personally say, since the last time I've been there, their whole agenda has turned around into making sure that these animals are respected, that these animals get the care that they need, and in the hopes of people volunteering, and that, which is my next point. People should volunteer. SeaWorld's whole thing is now about volunteering and rescuing. On the SeaWorld page, they talk about that they've saved over 37,000 animals since, they're rebranding, and they've really tried making that the focus so that they can show that they do care about the animals. And they said that they are on call with veterinarians and animal rescuers for 365, 24/7 on call, no matter what, in the hopes that as soon as they get the animals that with the real rehabilitation, that they will be sent right back into the wild. And so that's basically the solutions. So now that we've talked about the solutions, I would like to conclude my speech. Today I've tried to persuade you on the reasons why you should go, keep going to SeaWorld, that the reasons why that people that don't attend can have a negative effect, and the possible solutions that we can do in order to combat these negative effects of not attending. I know that many people would still have issues of not wanting to go to SeaWorld because they feel it's just wrong. And trust me, I understand. I would not want nothing more than these animals be taken care of. But that's the thing. They need you to be there physically. They need you to be there with them. They need your money in order to keep surviving. Because out of all these years of suffering, the only way that things will change is if you're there in order to help them. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring little kids, show them, make it a learning opportunity for them. Ever since PETA and OSHA has been out, they have created acts like Orca, which is the Orca Responsibility Care Act, which states that animals can no longer, especially killer whales, can no longer be used for entertainment value, can no longer be exploited for the purpose of entertainment, and can no longer be bred. So with these issues being taken care of on a law level, it's up to us to take care of them. We need to together end the suffering that SeaWorld has caused and hopefully change the climate surrounding these animals into something better, something that they've always deserved. And I personally can say that I will keep attending SeaWorld because I want to make sure that I can do my part. And I think it's best described what should be done with these animals and what these animals deserve by an interview, one of the last interviews of Dawn Bradshaw. Thank you.
Gosh, do I love coming out here every day and having the audience just love what we're doing with the animals. How do I make this animal as beautiful as they are and have people walk away loving this animal, and they're touched and they're moved, and I feel like I made a difference to them.